Mr. President, dear colleagues, we fully agree with the motion aiming at developing the use of ICT. In secondary schools across Europe, we are of the same opinion in terms of how important a role modern technology plays in our lives. No matter which part of our everyday existence is concerned, we cannot escape contact with modern communication and other devices. In fact, this is one of the main reasons why we believe that ICT is of great importance in schools, which are to prepare students for adult life. Secondary schools years are the best time for young people to learn to live with and make best use of the computer and other appliances, and this fact makes it essential to have proper access to them at schools. This is also the time to learn to avoid the risks of using the internet and computers, which are numerous, as our Spanish colleague emphasized it very accurately. I believe this argument adds extra importance to IT education in schools where students shouldn't only be given chance to become computer literate, but also to learn to use modern technologies cleverly. That is, as it is most fruitful for them. But the student actually learns at school in terms of ICT will prove to be crucial foundation when it comes taking up a career or going to university or college. As it, as it is a tendency nowadays that a lot of young people decide to apply for international scholarships or seek jobs outside their home country's equality of chances is becoming more and more important. It's my conviction that not one individual should be at a disadvantage, but just because a school and country they come from cannot offer the same access to ICT, which is now compulsory asset of any professional field. In the Hungary especially feel the need for, for standardization in this matter, since we are rather behind compared to several other countries of the EU. An annual survey of the use of ICT in state schools across the country shows that only a little bit more that 3% of the participating schools use ICT creatively, but in the learning and teaching process with unlimited access to a great variety of technical equipment. 20% of the schools have a rich variety of technical tools and their disposal in fully equipped IT labs. They integrate ICT, however, they don't change their approach to teaching and learning to become more in line with the requirements of the 21st century. In half of the schools participating in the survey, students don't have direct access to ICT and definitely don't use it in the learning process. On whole, most schools define their situation as being halfway towards the ideal goal, namely quality and quantity of ICT tool fulfilling the needs of the school. All in all, based on the way we experience our problems and scholarship and shortcomings, we believe that every nation should have equal chances of access to modern technology, and the European Union has a great role in this matter. Let us join our strengths to help our brilliant young minds to equal access to the technical device that come from their future. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Now I give the floor to Mr. Murat Hiltring.
Mr. President, dear colleagues, I feel support the formal speakers' waves on saving nature resources advantages and disadvantages of computers. I'd like to take attention especially to consumption of natural resources at schools and state offices, because in my country we have too much formal correspondences and bureaucracy. In recent years, with the development of ICT, the teachers and students are able to reduce the use of sheet of white paper considerably. In recent years, with the development of ICT, the technology has many benefits, as the Spanish representative said in his speech. I'd like to add that we can reach plenty of various information. It increases the motivation in education. It can attract the learners' attention by using the virtual environment. We can repeat issues as many times as we like. It saves time for fast learners, and it can patience for slow learners. It keeps monotony away from education. It helps to make connection between the previous and recent knowledge. Some disadvantages of technology I'd like to add. It isn't humanistic. It has an emotion which is very important for humanity. If there is an error in input, there is also an error in output. It is expensive. Education becomes more mechanic rather than teaching art. There is less face-to-face communication. The individuals become asocial. In Turkey, at schools, ICT use is widespread in some cities. However, it is less available in some disadvantaged regions and schools. So every student doesn't have equal opportunities in using information and communication technologies. In 2011-2012 academic year, in the second term, our government started a project which is called Fatih. With this project, 8,800 tablet PCs are delivered to 52 state schools. These tablet PCs will replace the students' books and notebooks. These tablets will be delivered to 17 million students in the next 4 years. 17 million in the next 4 years. To conclude, I like every student would have equal and more technological opportunities in Europe. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Now I give the floor to Ms. Buffy Despoina.
Dear Mr. President and colleagues, we agree with the previous speakers that over the past few years an informal dialogue between the fields of education and computer science has taken place in order to ascertain how education could benefit from all the advances made in computer technology. In Greece, computers first appeared in schools in the 1990s. However, even though we have computer science teachers, our computer labs are inadequate. As a result of this, Greek students learn, for the most part, their computer skills outside the classroom and have little opportunity to use their skills in school. Technology, as we all know, has spread on most aspects of everyday life. This means education as well. For example, the advent of the e-book means that students can become familiar with it from an early age. They can research for projects without having to buy books or visit libraries. In fact, they can have access to every library all over the world at their fingertips. Another benefit too, of course, is an ecological one. No need for paper, no cutting down trees. However, with all the benefits this new technology has, there are some serious concerns. Firstly, it replaces the teacher, and as a result, the teacher and student intercourse disappears. Secondly, health problems arise as a result of students' inactivity and staring at the screen for long periods. Lastly, e-book itself may pose problems as students will become reluctant to search for information elsewhere, and of course the charm of the traditional book would vanish. We are certain that the use of computers in school has both positive and negative results, and that the debate is still in progress. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Now I give the floor to Mr. Robert Nikolka.
Dear Mr. President, dear colleagues, I fully support the previous speaker's view that we have to develop a method of learning without changing the content and still using the ordinary books. The entering of the information and communication technologies in education is a non-reversible and necessary process because the school institution prepares students for their professional and life realization. During the last 8 years, the situation in Bulgaria has been changing. In 2004, for example, 100 students shared 2.1 computers, while in the EU it was a bit different. 100 students shared 80 computers. Now the situation in Bulgaria has completely different. In Bulgaria, in the middle of the last decade, special ICT programs were put into practice in educational process. Their main objective is to prepare students for the information society. In 2006 and 2007, in pursuance of program of the Bulgarian Ministry of Education, most of the teachers passed computer courses. In 2008, a considerable percent of them received laptops from the Ministry of Education, and as a result, e-lessons are something usual in our schools. But only a few publishing houses offer interactive students' books for some of the school subjects. The question is, what do we earn and what do we lose while living in a virtual space? The methods of performance in education has changed consequently the objectives. We are still asking the alarming question. Is it possible to study efficiently while entertaining? Personal and professional presence of the teacher is very important here. He has to be careful not to break or ignore the teacher-student connection because the student is more often inclined to accept the entering and spectacularity. Computer technologies reduce a reckless use of paper of waste of natural resources. On our other hand is the unique charm to turn over the page of this book, giving out a smell of the ink, to look for truths, to communicate with other people directly. Thank you for your attention.
Are there any questions? No? The debate is closed. It takes us to the next point on our agenda. A report of standardization of sports programs in European Union countries. So to start, I will give the floor to Ms. Melinda Molnar for 4 minutes. Okay, so let's take a break.